Hi, everybody. I got some sound bites I want you guys to listen to. In my opinion, each one of these people colluded in the cover up of Joe Biden, and they all deserve to go to jail. Here, give this a listen to.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
This guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
His mental acuity is great.
This is a very sharp president.
This is a man that's on his game.
President Biden is absolutely fit.
There's not a problem.
He's sharp, he's fit, he's always answering questions.
He is on the ball. He was sharper than anyone I've spoken to.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There's no doubt in my mind that the president is mentally fit for office.
Biden has proven himself to have a strong memory.
He's completely mentally sharp.
He's at the top of his game.
But comparing that guy's mental state, I've said it for years now, he's cogent. But I undersold him when I said he was cogent. He's far beyond cogent. In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been. Intellectually, analytically, because he's been around for 50 years. And, I don't know if people knew this or not, Biden used to be a hothead. Sometimes that Irishman would get in front of the reasoning. Sometimes he would say things he didn't want to say. This is, and I don't really, I don't really care. Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
And then Jill Biden went on The View to tout her husband.
I think the American people deserve a debate because you need to see your choices. You need to see Trump and you need to see the president and you need to see the differences. And my husband's, and you're going to see how smart he is and the experience he has. And then you'll see somebody who, like you're saying, I'm going to use Joy's words, can't put a sentence together.
Right.
Now, we all know just how stupid the women of The View are. But in case you missed it, let me show you just how stupid Whoopi Goldberg is. Listen to this.
Yeah. I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General, his wife. Joe Biden's wife, because he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
And she said she's going to use Joy's words that Donald Trump can't complete a sentence. Are you for real? Here, listen to what your husband has to say about that.
The total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. Imagine what we can do next. 4 more years of $1 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare. And slip, that was the last president. He caused, anyway, that was President Obama when I was vice president. There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement, there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas.
Very well, President Joe Biden, who this week was given a clean bill of health from his physician, who declared Joe is healthy and vigorous and is fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency.
Bridge over the Holly River. Look, in Washoe County in Nevada, we're spending $89 billion to add several lanes.
Give me a break, man. But back to that routine physical he completed this week, where an extremely detailed neurologic exam found no sign of cognitive decline, none at all.
You know, our natural wonders inspire, and the reflection inspires our to take action. You know, America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I actually traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact. A solid meeting they make a very good point. Here's the deal. Here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the go. You know the thing.
Hey, Cogent Joe Scarborough, F off if you can't handle the truth. We all know with the Bidens, it's all about the power. They got to hang on to the power. And Jill was the one driving Joe to run for a second term. He didn't even want to run for the first term, but they convinced him. And now they're pushing him out for a second term. Jill just didn't want to give up the trappings of the White House. She had servants doing her laundry, waiting on her hand and foot. She had the private jet, the nice digs. And she pushed Joe out instead of telling him, no, I think you ought to sit this one out. She pushed him out for her own selfish reasons. She demands that you call her Dr. Jill Biden. I don't think so, not in my lifetime. She's a teacher with a PhD, but she demands you call her doctor as a show of respect. I worked 40 years for Amoco and then BP, and I was in R&D for like 20 years of that. You couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting a PhD. And there's only two guys in the whole company that ever demanded you call them doctor. And they only lasted for about a year and then they were gone. I'm going to call her doctor? No way. I understand now they're going to drag his doctor in for a congressional hearing to find out just how competent he was. If my beliefs are correct, he was incompetent to sign all those pardons at the end of his term. Release all those death row inmates. Pardon his entire family. And if we can prove that, we can reverse the pardons, we can bring back all those death row inmates, and go after his corrupt family. Hunter, his brother, go after Jill for the cover up. Go after all the Democrats that knew about this and said nothing. I saw video of Jill Biden running the staff meetings because Joe was incompetent. You knew that had to spread like wildfire throughout the Democrats, and they kept it a secret because they wanted to hold on to power. They all deserve to go to jail. And now that it's all out in the open, people can't write tell-all books fast enough. There's got to be 5 or 7 tell-all books on the market right now.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get-out-of-jail-free card, that seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right, with Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a lot, and they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But, like, where does that come from, that concept that you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand?
I want to see some asses go to jail for this cover-up. If you like what you heard, hit the like button down below. Thank you.